Online learning can be a challenge for any family, especially if English is your second language. Iowa's News Now reporter Emily Chavez continues our Return to Learn series. She takes a close look at one of Iowa's most vulnerable populations and the barriers a computer screen creates for their kids at home.
Nearly a quarter of immigrants and their U.S.-born children live in poverty. On top of that, Hispanic immigrants are not as likely to own a computer or have home internet. Here in Iowa, immigrants make up about 6% of the population, and at the Iowa City Community School District, about 1,100 families have immigration status.
Of all the dozens and dozens and dozens of families we've worked with, there is not a parent in those families who does not want their child to succeed in school.
One of those parents is Rufina. She has 4 children enrolled in the Iowa City Community School District. That district requires the use of technology at home.
Pues mi pensamiento era, ¿y cómo le voy a hacer? ¿Y cómo vamos a hacer? Porque pues es totalmente diferente.
Marlene Mendoza is the president of the League of Latin American Citizens, Council 308, a civil rights organization that serves as a voice for Latino and immigrant communities.
In this situation, we're looking at immigrant children and their parents, English language learners, so you might have students who English is not their predominant language, or populations that are low income that maybe have very little to no exposure to technology.
There are currently about 1,700 English language learners at ICCSD.
Just to differentiate the learning environment. So I think it's been a challenge to do that, yet on the flip side, it has really raised the awareness that some of those instructional strategies that we've been kind of pushing all along, now they're really needed because of that online format.
That awareness isn't just language. Mendoza says there are a number of barriers that come with online learning, like knowing how to ask a simple question.
No podemos preguntar a veces por la idioma, sí, porque no sabemos cómo decirlo, ¿verdad? O pedir ayuda.
For many, it could be minor technological issues, but when you add fear of certain immigration status, compiled with fear of asking for resources or speaking out, plus a language barrier, plus a technology barrier, plus the fact that you might not have enough resources to hire a babysitter, mentor, all of these things, they add up. And these are continued stressors for these families.
Another stressor, Mendoza says, is the fear of truancy.
We need further investigation to see how is the school board district approaching families case by case when they see that they're not logging in online.
Director for Learning Supports at ICCSD says communication can always be improved.
Absolutely, we need to hear from our immigrant and refugee communities. I mean, how would I know what their experience is? I wouldn't know that. And to the best of my ability, I would be able to understand it only by listening.
For now, many immigrant families rely on community services like Open Heartland to help with the online transition.
Esta organización trató de abrir para poder apoyar a los padres y a sus hijos. Entonces tenemos familias que llegaron, estuvieron aquí una semana y aprendieron a navegar todo y se movieron a su casa porque ya tenían internet.
While following COVID-19 protocols, Bernal says their organization sees about 25 families a week.
Hay mucho trabajo que hacer para educar a la comunidad y que pueda salir la comunidad latina. Más que nada, hoy es el futuro, no te tienes que esperar a mañana. Podemos empezar hoy para el mejor futuro que ven en los niños.
After Iowa's News Now contacted ICCSD and LULAC, they are now scheduled to meet on October 21st to address community concerns. We will be following this story and updating you as it unfolds. In studio, Emily Chavez, Iowa's News Now.